Hi again. Welcome to Tuesday Weekly Live, and you cannot see me, I think. Now there we are. So yeah, I sort of gave it away already. We're gonna have a little discussion about breath control on violin. So how about that? You probably wonder what the I'm talking about, because do we need breath control on a violin? I would say yes, we do. And why? This has something to do with what I call organic playing. And I think that's really, really important to me. So let me see. What am I going to start with? Well, the first picture. What is this? This is a hand puppet. And this little hand puppet, what is it? It's just nothing, it's a piece of fabric, and it's got these little marbles in it and these things we call ears, and it's completely nothing when it just lies there in a box or in the cupboard. It's absolutely nothing. But when someone puts his hand in it and starts to move the little hands there, and the face, it's starting to come alive, right? And then the person holding it is also going to speak. So even if you've got mouth control there, it's going to speak. So this little puppet, which is nothing, when you put your hand in it, it's going to come alive. And now it's up to the storyteller to make this little puppet come alive and talk to you, speak to you, and get into all these adventures. And that is all what this storyteller is going to do. Okay, so that is for the puppet. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Have a look at this one. What is this? Okay, you might have guessed it. I'm going to tell you what it is. Yeah, you're going to say a violin. By the way, I cannot see comments at this in this session because somehow the comment section has disappeared. Let me see if I can get it back. Hang on, I'm going to just see if, because I want you to be able to ask questions as well, and I cannot. Let me see. Window, yes. Comments and reaction, there we got it. Okay, if all went well, I can see comments and reactions coming in there. Got it, yes, and I see Elke, and I see another Facebook user, which might be on the page, which I cannot see, but I can see Elke here in real life, and I see Ruth, but I know it's Georgie, my star student. Right, okay, so you can put in comments and I'm gonna see it, and so let me know. I was asking, what is this? And you're probably gonna say it's a violin, right? I'm gonna say no, because I told you, what is this? It's nothing until you put your hand in it, and that's what it's about. What is this? It's nothing. It's completely nothing. It's a wooden box with a few strings on it, and it's just laying there in the violin case, in the case, then I say that, and it does nothing. It's just laying there and it's nothing. But when you, with the hand puppet, when you pick up the violin and you pick up a bow, now this little piece of wood with some strings on it is coming to life, is starting to sing. And that's what it's all about. Now, going back to the puppet again, there we are, the puppet. Now we're talking about a good storyteller. You're gonna tell the story of the puppet. The puppet is coming alive, right? The puppet is, well, you know. And the storyteller, you, steering that puppet, that story is going to come alive, and the puppet is coming alive and telling all his adventures to you. And the better the storyteller tells that story, the more interesting it's going to be. It's going to be, well, with emotion, with everything, action maybe, and everything. It's got everything in it. And the same thing with this piece of wood with a few strings on it. The violinist, you are gonna bring it to life and make it sing. That's what it's about. Now, getting back to our topic, breath control. Now, what do we need to be alive? In the first place, we have to breathe, right? Obviously. If we breathe, breathing means you're alive. Okay, well, if you would sing, and you're singing a song, what is the first thing you have to do before you start with the first sentence? You have to breathe in. Da 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 da. Right? If you play trumpet, clarinet, flute, wind instruments, what do you do if you play the first note? You have to breathe. Pa da 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 da. That's it. What do you do if you play the first note on violin? Well, what I see a lot is this. No breathing, nothing at all. And I don't like that. Because, why not? It's not organic. It's not alive. Just that. And play long notes. I could do this for hours. No problem at all. I can breathe. In and out. But try to do this on a flute. You'd be lying on the ground. Reaching for a breath, right? Okay, so we don't need that. But if you don't do it, it's not going to sound organic. And like I told you last week, what do the Romanian people say? We say, we play the violin, right? You play the violin. But the Romanian, they say contribuare. And it means you sing the violin. That's all. That makes all the difference. If you put your hand in that little puppet, and I had the greatest adventure when I met my best friend, yeah, it's not interesting. But you can make it look at the audience. Oh, look at that. Wow, I'm going to tell you a story. And you know, the Muppets, best example of really organic storytelling. These puppets are alive. They're human beings, right? That's what I mean. Now, if I'm going to play the same first note on violin, the first thing, I'm going to do it like this. But the second, I'm going to do it different. I'm going to do it organic now. That one little note. Did you notice the difference? Yeah? I hope so. Let me know if you see what I mean. Let me know if this makes sense to you. Let me see you. I'm interacting and I have the violin in my hand. I can't see who it is on Facebook. I can only see that on YouTube. But yes, interacting. This is interacting with your violin and interacting with your audience as well. You don't play like this. No, you interact with the audience. You're telling your story. You're singing your story to the audience. That makes the difference. Get it? Does that make sense? I hope so, because this is what it's all about. Breath control. So, what I always tell my students is, how would you play a song? Sing it first. Very easy to do. And while you're singing, maybe make a note or remember, where are you breathing, right? Where are you breathing? At what point? If I'm going to play Georgia, I'm going to play where you are now, and I'm going to do it like this. I hear that a lot. No breathing at all. Got it? So this is going to be sounding like a sort of robot, and we don't want that. Now I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to use breath control on a violin as I would sing it. How would I sing it? Well, I'm not a singer, but let's give that a go. Don't laugh. There, I breathe. Okay? Now, I'm going to do exactly the same on violin. Watch what happens. First, breathe before you start, right? Got it? Now, in my opinion, tell me if I'm right, tell me if you agree, in my opinion, the violin is singing. The violin is coming online. Alive, I mean. The violin is coming alive. And this is what I call organic playing with breathing. So the bottom line is always think, where would you breathe if you would play in clarinet, if you would be singing, where would you breathe? And this makes the violin alive, a live instrument. Your violin should be your voice, your outboard voice, right? And if you sing, you breathe. That's all what it is. I didn't notice that myself until quite late, actually. But I don't want you to follow all your violin studies not knowing about this, well, crucial way of performing. Crucial, in my opinion. And I really hope you agree. So, that is with breathing. But breathing goes one step further. If you are playing a concert and you are the soloist, right? It could be that you don't have a conductor. Talk about a conductor. Let's talk about the conductor. Actually, he does exactly the same. He's got this, do I have it here? No, I don't have my baton here. All right. You've got the baton in your hand. The whole orchestra is paying attention. They're just ready. And you can't start like that, right? You have to go up. There. That's where the first note is, right? If you have your violin ready, and you're waiting for me to start you off, then I'm doing this. Pa. When my hand goes down, that's where you start your note, right? That's it. For instance, a drummer. You have the snare drum, you have a drumstick in your hand. When do you hear a sound? You can't go down right away. You have to go up first. What goes up must come down. Yeah, it does. Like, pak. That's where you hear the beat. Tak, right? Okay. Now, when you are playing a solo and you have a pianist accompanying you, or even an orchestra without a conductor, so you don't need a conductor, right? But let's stick to the pianist, okay? The pianist has to know where are you going to start. If I do this, then the pianist is never going to start right at the same time. See? Try it. Start exactly together with me. Are you ready? You missed it. Okay, I'm going to do the same now. Right? Try it again. Doesn't matter what you play. It's just about the starting point. Start together with me. I bet you were right this time. Okay. Now, what I did with the violin, go up, go down, like the baton. Bam, bam. Okay. Now, sometimes I see a violinist doing this with a pianist. You don't have to. Because if you're playing organically, you breathe. And what happens when you breathe? Look at the violin goes up. It doesn't need to go up like that. No. You can see that's enough. Got it? So then again, you start at the same point. So you're also a conductor if you breathe, and you can always, your pianist can always follow you exactly and be playing in sync with you, starting at the same point. Breathe. Okay? And now the last point. Not unimportant. Why you should actually breathe. That is, say you're gonna play a concert, right? We've got this concert hall full of people, orchestra sitting there, conductor, and you come on with a violin. You're on fancy clothes like that, good jacket or dress if you're a woman, and you're up there, and the orchestra starts playing the overture, and then it's your moment. You're waiting, enjoying the overture. Oh, that's it. And now my moment is coming. Yeah. In the overture, I would stand up, go to the ticket office and ask my money back if I would see that. Really, I would. But let's go the same. Okay, well, concert hall, people filled up, all paid €100 for you playing as a solist. Orchestra is, you come up, make a bow, yes, contact with the audience, that's it. Huh? And now the overture starts playing and you're into it. Ah, yeah, the overture. And now comes my part. You ready? You see what I mean? I haven't played a single note yet, and this would get me on the edge of my chair. Yes. Oh wow. Got that? So and then it's gonna come, it's gonna be perfect because you're really into it. You breathe, and that's preparing your first note. You can't prepare like that, but you can. Then you got full control. Breath does that. And your very first note is so exciting. Even before you have played, you hear the first sound. It's already, yeah, this is what I want to hear. The violinist is gonna sing for us, is gonna tell the story for us by breathing, breath control. Right? Okay. So, what it's all about, breath control on a violin, that is, breathe as if you would sing. Know when you're going to breathe. If you have a score in front of you, you may even want to insert commas, even if you have the long note and the next note is going to follow. But if you would need to breathe, if you would sing, place a comma there and keep to that. Breathe as if you would sing it. And then it's going to sound alive, organic. And personally, that's when I would really be intrigued with what happens on the stage. And the people know that you really mean it, right? If you play that, you don't mean it. But with this, you mean it. That makes a difference. Does that make sense? I hope so. Let me see. Yeah. What if you're playing a really hard piece? Well, even then, your focus is in there. You're putting your focus in there when you first breathe. Then you're all about that first note. And even if you play fast, if you play difficult things, the focus is going to be there. Got it? So that makes no difference. But there's just one thing I could tell you about getting the right tempo in it. Let's go back to the conductor. Let's go back to Miles Davis. Miles Davis, jazz trumpet player, and he's got this big band, 13 people in the big band behind him, and they have to be really sharp, pack on the one, right? And the only thing he does, he plays and he's conducting, but not with a baton or anything. He stands towards the audience. Only thing with his trumpet is this, pack, that. That's it. And the big band, pack, on the one, all of them. And they have the right tempo right away. How? This. Tak, 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 tak. Got it? If I do this, tak, 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 tak. So it's the time you need to go up and down, that determines the tempo. You can see it. One more time. Tak, 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 tak. Faster. Tak, 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 tak. Slower. Tak, 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 tak. And you can do the same with violin. So. Or. See it? So you can also determine the tempo. But this is all about the focus as well. If I'm going to play fast notes, I'm not going to do this. Like that. No. Then I'm going to do this. Like that. And you can see I'm breathing, and you can see fast notes are coming. And you can see exactly when is the one going to be. Like that. All right? All have to do with the correct breathing. And you just have to breathe. Your violin goes up already, and it's enough. It's just maybe an inch or something, a centimeter or an inch, no more. It's already clear. Got it? And that's what the importance of breathing, in my opinion, is. And I know a lot of even professional violinists not really using the power of breathing. But I think, just like the puppet, the violin, just a wooden box with strings in it, that's it. It's no more than that. You pay a little bit more for it, I know, but it's not more than that. But it's coming alive when the violinist picks it up and starts singing on it, right? And you need to breathe. In my opinion, breathe, breathe, breathe. If you have a score, place commas where you would sing the score if you can, and place commas where you would actually breathe. And that's where you also breathe when you play the violin. Go further. So if you have finished the sentence, see? Pull and you go on again. Someone accompanying you is going to love it because they always know when you start, and this is organic, right? I think it's really important. I hope you learned something of this lesson, and I hope you can start working with that yourself. See where you breathe, but don't forget the first note before you start. The first note. And I'm gonna give you a little secret here. A little secret. On my first album, there was one piece with orchestra and grand piano. And I can play piano a little bit, and so I played the most of my album I played myself. But this piece, that had to be flowing like that, and whatever I did, I couldn't do that. But I asked a very, very talented pianist, Iris. I asked if she could come to the studio and play that for me, because she's fantastic. And I think she was only 18 or 19 years old. And she was in the studio, and I was in the control room with the technician. And I said, you're going to press the record button, and then I'm going to tie your hands behind your back. You're not going to touch anything, whatever happens. All right? Okay. So he did that. I didn't tie his hands, but he got the message, of course. And she starts playing. She could start. The orchestra would follow. So she starts. Instead of like that, I saw her do this. That. And it took time. You know what? I kept that time on the album. So one song on the album, if you buy the album, I'm not going to tell you which song, you must find out. One song on the album just takes some time before it starts. And I left that space on before you hear the piano playing. I could have easily cut that off because you don't hear anything. But I needed to keep that on the album Only me, only the technician knew what happened there in that studio. This concentration, this breathing before the first note, the complete focus of putting that first chord down. That was amazing. And every time I hear that song, I see her playing there. It's enough for me. It's a bit strange for everybody who bought the album, but that still works for me. And that was fantastic. And that makes all the difference to me. With organic player, of course, dynamics and everything, yes, but the breathing makes it organic. Even the piano, even the violin. Singing and wind instruments don't have the problem because they have to, because you need your breath, of course. We don't have to, but if you do, it's going to make such a big difference. All right, I hope this is clear for everybody. Let me see if there are any questions. Okay. Okay, the right message at the right time. Fantastic. Well, that's what it's all about. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all back next week again at the next Tuesday live. And if you have a topic, if you're struggling with something and you don't know how to solve it or anything, drop me a line. You can do that by emailing me through the creativeviolin.com website. You can always contact me through that, or if you have other means, maybe in the Facebook group, you can post a question there or on the page. Let me know if you have anything that might be the next topic. So I'm always looking for topics if you don't have anything. And I see Georgie, you have a topic. Well, let's do this in this little broadcast. What is your topic? Me. I want to hear the topic. Georgie, let me know the topic. So, and if you don't have a topic for 1 week, I have lots of things I want to talk about, also about the method, then that's totally okay. But if you have something struggling and you need some assistance with that, and I think when a lot of people can learn from it, that's going to be the next topic for sure. Mapping your fingers to printed notes. Great. Okay. Mapping your fingers to printed notes. Well, actually, no, it's not going to be a topic, Georgie. One of my videos on YouTube, you have to look for it. It's all about reading, how to read on a violin. How to read on a violin. Look that up on YouTube. And if you can find that, watch that video. It's going to explain exactly how you map the fingers, because you've got two ways to read. One is seeing the notes. This is a B, this is a C, and that is the E flat or something like that. The other way to read, which is very necessary for us on the violin, is when you see that note, that's the third finger on the A string, that's the first finger on the D string. You have to recognize it that way. Not even knowing what the name of the note is, you have to know what finger it is on what string. That is the mapping. So check that video, Georgie, and let me know if you're still struggling with that. Then I'll make that a topic. Is that okay? Right, everybody, thank you for watching, and please tune in next week, same time, same place, at the next Tuesday live. And if you're beginning with a violin and you don't have the method yet, you need a method, and you can have me as teacher and coach, then watch the next little video. It's all about the method and where and how you can buy it. And until now, I say bye-bye, God bless you all, and see you next week. You want to learn to play the violin, and of course with the best violin method, right? Would you like to learn other styles of music on the violin in addition to classical, such as jazz, country, gypsy music, Irish? And maybe you even want to learn to improvise on the violin. Well, you can, from the very first lesson. Do you play? I am Xander Nichting, author of the new violin method, Creative Violin, from which thousands of students are already studying. So what makes this violin method so new? The build-up of the technical skills is the same as the old methods. They are fine and do not need to be reinvented. The new thing is in the music itself. Besides classical, there are many musical styles, as mentioned, jazz, country, gypsy music, Irish, and even improvisation exercises from lesson 1. But what makes this method completely unique is that videos of all the lessons and exercises in the book are also included. You can see very clearly what the intention is and how to do it. I see it in my own students. They progress much faster, but also much better. And in addition, I hardly notice any motivation problems. Of course, the accompaniments of all pieces and exercises are included. You can use them to give beautiful house concerts or, of course, use them for recitals in the violin class. And best of all, perhaps, is the price of it all. €27.97. €27.97. You can buy the book for just €27.97. It is available as ebook, which you can download and get started right away, or you can purchase the printed version, which will be sent to your address. Everything is included, the videos, which are on our YouTube channel, and the accompaniments. Even if you don't have a violin teacher, you can get started with this. All the explanations that a teacher would give you are also explained in detail in the videos. If you want, you can share your progress in the Creative Violin Facebook group that has been set up just for this purpose. Here you will always get positive and professional feedback on your progress, so you can be sure you're doing it right. And this is also completely free. And there are currently more than 6,000 people active in this group. So for less than €28 you have a complete violin method with video instructions that will take you from a beginner to intermediate level. Book 1 closes with Pachelbel's Canon. And you could be playing this in under a year. Click on the link and we will immediately start your violin career together.